the more I think about it, the more I realize that in life, we know the things we should be doing, right? And we know that they would be good for us. Like, it's not a question of knowledge a lot of the time. Like, we know how to exercise, we know, what to kind of eat to really be better. I mean, sometimes it gets conflated and so forth, but in general, we know what's good for ourselves, right? What we should do: exercise, sleep, therapy, this and that, and so forth. But what I realize now, why we don't oftentimes, move forward in the things that we know would be good for us, is because they're shoulds, not musts. And so, this idea for me has really brought up, how does one change a should to a must? And unfortunately, a lot of times it's tragic circumstances. And what I really love to consider is how to not have that happen, where it has to be such a negative thing in order to change those should into the must. Because, there's people around us every day that, that we hear from that are good ideas, right? Whether it's podcasts or something else. And we're like, oh yeah, that's great. I should do that, right? We say to that, I should do that. We don't, because it's not a must. And the thing of it is, do I necessarily have a solution at the moment? Sadly, I don't. But I think what has worked for me, both in terms of my art and greater life, is this commitment to one decision that eliminates thousands. I think for me, if there ever is a starting point, it's that I commit to something, no matter what. And it's almost like, Seth Godin talks about this, like that commitment to say, hey, I'm going to be a YouTuber, right? Well, now you've committed to being a YouTuber. So the day in, day out of do I want to film today? Do I not? Should I post something? Do I not? It eliminates that because you've already made that decision. And yes, that's a little bit romanticizing it, but that's the goal, right? To just make that commitment to yourself, that, I'm going to be a runner. I'm going to, be a healthy eater, whatever it is. Make that decision, and then that way you start to eliminate I know I should eat better today, but what do I want to make, right? It just create that sort of inertia. And in fact, I forget the name of the book. It's just kind of coming to me now, but this idea of, people always wonder what they should make for dinner. And as a way to offset that, they literally say as soon as you sort of get home, just turn on the stove, put something, on it. And then yes, go to the bathroom, wash your hands or whatever, say hi to everybody, whatever you got to do. But just that inertia that's created, from just doing that will automatically, it will just trigger something and it will make you move forward, right? So yeah, I just kind of want to introduce this really. As I said, I don't necessarily have the solutions for all of this, but I think part of it is, being able to identify that for ourselves, we understand these as shoulds instead of musts in our lives. And then, perhaps it is a little bit of an individual exercise of, okay, well, how do I change that? Right. And, it's something that I think is worth contemplating for ourselves. And, I would love to extend the discussion out to you, right? And to comment down below or hit me up on social media of, how are you thinking about this now? And what do you identify as musts in your life versus shoulds? And are there shoulds in your life that you do want to make musts, and how are you going about that? So very, very sort of curious about that. Hope this benefits you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I'll see you next time.